Hi, this is Steph with Belladonna Dyes, and today we're going to make a pink and purple peacock. First, I'm going to start by centering my shirt. So I'm using a washable marker to mark out my center points. Now these shirts don't have a side seam on them, so you want to make sure that you get it nice and straightened out so that your pattern lines up in the center. So I'm going to tuck one sleeve inside the other sleeve, and what that's going to do is create symmetry. So I'm going to start by turning the sleeve inside out and tucking it down into the other sleeve. With a t-shirt, it's a little bit easier. With the long sleeves and it's a smaller shirt, it's hard for me to get my arm all the way in there. So turn it inside out and then stuff it down into the other sleeve. Then you want to line up the seams along the shoulder and along the underarm, and then find those little marks that you made and give them a little pinch and lay it down on the table. For me, that usually ends up being the back of the shirt first. Then I go and find the marks that I made on the other part, the top of the shirt, and I line up those little marks. I give it a little shake and then lay it down on the table and just start smoothing everything out. Now this is the foundation for your tie-dye, so you want to make sure that you take your time, get everything lined up, get out all the wrinkles. That way you have nice symmetry in your final product. So what you're seeing now is I have the back of the shirt flat against the table and the front of the shirt is on top, and my sleeves ended up being over towards the right side of the table. So in order to create this pattern, I need to turn it counterclockwise. That's because my sleeves are to the right, okay? So I give the hemostat 2 or 3 twists, and then with my opposite hand, I create the pleats. And I go as far as I can using the microwave splatter guard, and then I will unclick the hemostat, hold down the center of the spiral, and gently wiggle the hemostats out. And I have this sped up so it looks a little more rough, but I am being gentle. Now, if your sleeves were on the left side of the table with the front of the shirt up, you would turn it clockwise. I know that sounds confusing, but after you do it a few times, it's not. And you can turn it any direction you want. It just will decide, like, is the peacock shape pointing up or is it pointing down? I like to secure these by using my favorite rubber bands, and these are the purple ones. Now, I'm left-handed and I like to create a nice tight spiral. So you saw me just flip it over right there. That's so that I'm able to pull the pleats towards me to tighten it up. Now you don't have to do any of that, it's just what I like to do. Once I get it nice and tight, I'm able to pick it up, move it around, flip it, do whatever I need to do, and it's not going to fall apart on me. Using a washable marker, I like to mark out my pattern. This is not a necessary step, but it does help me stay on track. And you can see that I started with yellow. Well, I decided to add more colors, so I needed to remark out my pattern. Now it's time for the fun part, and my favorite part. We get to add the dye. So I know it looks like I'm going really heavy-handed with the hot pink. It's because I am. Hot pink is one of those colors that just isn't really great for ice dyeing. It doesn't split and it doesn't saturate very well. So I'm adding a lot, trying to get a little bit extra saturation. So keeping in mind, when you make your shirt, you can do it in any color palette that you'd like. You can also choose as many colors as you'd like. You can also do as little colors as you like. I was specifically asked for pinks and purples, so I chose my favorite pinks and purples. So when picking my colors, I wanted to have a dark purple, a medium purple, a light purple, and so on with the pinks. And also when I was laying down the dye, I wanted to break them up. I didn't want to put the pinks right next to each other and the purples all right next to each other. I tried to go like pink purple, or different hues. That way you could see variance in the colors. Next, I give the project a quick little sprinkle of soda ash for good measure, and I add my ice. Now you can see here that I'm doing an assembly line, but we're focusing just on the one shirt. And I added the silicone cake molds, that way I didn't have to fill the entire tote up full of ice. And this is going to be a Muck ice dye, so I'm just going to put the lid on it and set it and forget it. Now it's recommended that you let your project batch at 70 degrees or higher for at least 24 hours, and I can tell you that this project went for the full 48 hours. For the rinse out, you want to start by using cold water. That's going to rinse away any soda ash that might still be reacting within the fabric. You need to get the soda ash out because you don't want the dark colors to redeposit onto the light colors. And then you increase your water up to hot. The hot water rinses away any unbonded dye. That way it goes down the drain instead of on top of your light colors or into the washing machine. From here, I take it to the washing machine, and I like to do hot water cycles using Kirillon. Kirillon is a professional textile detergent that I get from Dharma Trading Company. And then I like to do a final hot water cycle using Millsoft. And Millsoft is a professional fabric softener that I also get from Dharma Trading Company. And I do have links down below in the description box to help you find them, along with everything else that I use for tie-dye. So make sure that you check that out. Then I'll put the project in the dryer and I'll iron it, and we'll come back and we'll see the results. Well, here it is, guys. Here's our pink and purple Peacock Muck ice dye after it's been washed and dried, and I think it turned out really pretty. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't like that I call it a peacock because it's a spider fold, Yes, I've seen Mr. Tie-Dye's spider fold, and I also have made my own spider folds. And if I was to add black to the back of this, then I'd be creating a spider. But what I see is a shape in a peacock feather. Even more, I see an avocado seed. So you can call your shirt whatever you want to call it. So these pictures were taken outdoors in the sunshine. Now this next photograph I just want to show you. So the upper left is in the sunshine and the bottom right is early morning light, let's say 7 o'clock. The reason why I'm pointing this out to you is because I know many of you are selling your items online, like on Etsy, or you have a website or whatever. How you take your photograph can be very deceiving. That look like two completely different shirts. And so you need to make sure that you take accurate photographs. That way you don't make anybody mad when your shirt ends up arriving a totally different color. And I just put that in just to show you. You guys know that I have a very difficult time photographing my items because I don't have great lighting on the table. The kitchen lighting is terrible. And then obviously depending upon what time I take the picture outdoors, it can completely change things. So I just wanted to let you know it's something to put in the back of your mind when you're photographing your work. You want it to be as accurate as possible. Just for the upload tutorial, it doesn't really matter, but I guess that's just like my public service announcement. So overall, I'm really pleased with the way the shirt turned out. So what do you guys think? Please leave me some comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up, and click the bell and set it to all. That way you get notified of future uploads. And remember, have fun tie-dyeing!